Alright, so today we continue with our class Shabbos Home. We learn about 39 Melachas. And we start with Sefer Chofetz Chaim, and its stories about the Holy Chofetz Chaim. Right, we're told by his son. And it says, a wagon driver told me the following. Once he drove my father to a certain destination. My father, as was his way, spoke with the driver concerning man's purpose in this world, with the wagon driver. Right? A wagon driver asked, with what can impoverished fellow like myself marry the world to come? My father replied, establish a free loan fund. The wagon driver could not help but laugh. Is Rav serious? Or why I'm a poor man? Right, so these people work with horses. Like sometimes they have customers, sometimes they don't have customers. Basically, they would stand in some station, like a taxi, some of the taxi, but where they would drive people, drive merchandise. Right, they were not the most. Not the richest people, to say the least. Right, so he said this fellow asked, they were talking the purpose of life, because it doesn't matter, as we said many times, that doesn't matter what you do in this life. You're rich, you're poor. I mean, nice looking, not nice looking, doesn't matter. So you can reach your potential and get to Olam Haba. Right, but you need to know what to do in this life, and many things we have to just ignore. So all these troubles, as some people unfortunately go through so much in their life. I don't know, like it's simply unbelievable. So all of the stresses from all of the time, and nicest people, very sweet people. And but I told one of this person, I said I don't have a solution. Whatever this situation, me personally, I don't have a solution and I don't have advice. But what I can say that you must know that it's going to end sooner or later, but it's going to end. So don't think that your situation is permanent one. Right? Now it looks like almost the end of the world or end of the life, and nothing is going, and HaShem is not listening. But just remember, it's temporary. It's going to finish. That's it. So, but your job and my job, just to ignore these obstacles, right, as much as we can, and what is it? And continue doing what we must. That's why we always have to stay in focus. That's why this holy Chofetz Chaim, he has a conversation, right? Many rabbis would not even enter a conversation. What should I talk to this wagon driver about Talmud, about this deep insights of Ramban and Tosafos? I mean, he cannot, probably most likely he can read only Tehillim, what to talk. And Chofetz Chaim was engaged, would engage everybody, right, in conversation. Right, and he would say if he knows the purpose of life, and said the wagon drivers and other people without any special achievement, they would say me. Get into Olam Haba, you serious for what? So in some people it's only in them only the great tzaddikim, great rabbis get something, or great Hasidim of this world. But other people ask what we can do, and it's not true, right? It's not true. And there are some stories of these great tzaddikim. So actually, I don't remember who said it. One of our great sages, I don't remember who. In one of the later generations, so he said these stories are actually a poison. Chas v'sholom. All of these stories about olden days, they're poison. How is they poison? How can this holy rabbi said about these stories? He said because they actually bring people down. So they say, you have to be Baal Shem Tov to get Olam Haba. Me, who am the lowly person. Right, what he can do, what is comparison to me, right? But we also always have to hear the story from our generation, that the person, my neighbor, was exactly like me, and he he did not do whatever 1, 2, 3 that I'm doing, and he achieved so much. So now a person will have a motivation. If he could have done it, and we actually were in the same kindergarten, and when teacher asked the question, I knew all the question, all the answers, and he did not know anything, and he started speaking at a 6 year when he was 6, and I started speaking when I have at 2 months, something like that. You understand? So now you have an incentive. Right? Like somebody from more close generation than us, than somebody who can relate to us, right? Other people from previous generation, they are so holy like angels. Like, what is the connection? So basically, there is no connection. We don't feel a connection, and we don't feel that we can learn anything from them. So Chofetz Chaim, in his holiness, so he said how you can get to Olam Haba. He said establish this free loan fund, right? And this guy said I'm poor, and he started laughing. And what was the story that we said? Don't remember. Maybe it was a clip, right? One of the clips when they said it's not our job in this world to finish all the Torah, but our job is to start and continue. And same with this tzedakah or something nobody expects us to do anything, but to finish, because the end product is up to HaShem. But our job is to start and continue and contribute whatever we can every day. Contribute, and be serious, and HaShem is going to bless. So that's in essence what Chofetz Chaim is saying to this person, right? Even if you put aside a little, 10% of your salary, 15% of your salary to this free loan society, right? Meaning after a few months you have you would have something. So and for you, maybe in your eyes it's nothing significant, but other people don't have even that. So even for that amount, after you I'm just developing this story that you set aside in the past 2 or 3 months, they can buy the same Shabbos meal or something. The whole family can survive 1 week until the father comes back from the fair or from whatever he went on the business trip. You understand? So right, so that's what he said, I think. My father replied, "You're under the impression that to start a free loan fund, one needs hundreds of rubles." Right? Hundreds of rubles, as when they said, it was tremendous amount of money. So I did not check. I didn't have time to research how much was buying power, but most likely it was a lot. Right? It is not so. One needs only a few coins to start such a fund. Set aside 1 coin each week, and after a few weeks, you will have enough to set aside to extend one small loan to one individual. And as a week passes, the sum will grow, and in a matter of time, you will have saved up a sizable amount with which you will be able to extend the number of the loans simultaneously. Your mother's free loan fund will be a precious before HaShem as those whose sums total many hundreds of rubles. So let's read it again and try to understand what is the secret. Again, my father replied, "You're under the impression to start the free loan fund you need hundreds of rubles." Okay, so far so good. It is not so. You need only a few coins to start the fund. Set aside 1 coin each week. So far, as we said before, it makes sense. 1 coin you can afford. After a few weeks, you have enough to set aside and extend the small loan to one individual. So that's what we do. 1 loan to one individual, small loan. As weeks pass, the sum will grow, and in the matter of time, you will have saved up sizable amount with which you will be able to extend number of the loans simultaneously. Meaning that you just with the time passes, you have more and more and more. And I'm just adding for myself. And HaShem sees that the mitzvahs that you do. Also, He said, "Oh, that's what you like to do this mitzvah. I give you a bit more." I like you. I like what you're doing. I want to bless your parnasah. Now you're going to have 3 times more customers. Customers suddenly like you. Then they want to sign a contract for you to work for them. I don't know, 3 days a week or 4 days a week. You understand? So that's how it works. You start with some, right? Believe in HaShem, and then He's going to bless your endeavors. Your modest free loan fund will be precious before HaShem, as those whose sums total many hundreds of rubles. Right? So HaShem does not need. HaShem has all this money in the world. But He wants us to do His mitzvahs. That's what He wants. I mean, if He would not want everybody to have bread and other all of the foods, and He would do that. But He wants us to have this opportunity to help others, right, and get rewarded. A wagon driver heeded my father's advice, and in the course of time, he was extending numerous small loans simultaneously on steady basis. Meaning, as we said, short-term loans in olden days, so people did not have savings, right? So people were living day by day, so we would need to survive until they being paid or something, until they sell their produce or something, right? So that's what it is. Amazing. So I'm not sure why, but I was thinking about skipping these stories, but I think these stories right, amazing. We can learn a lot from them. Okay, stop here. All right, so okay, we continue with this chapter number 6, and our subject is sowing. And this, as we said last time, we gave all of these beautiful examples. So sewing, it's not only with needle and thread. Sewing is actually like attaching to separate things, whether two sides of one, for example, right, or two separate things, right? By the medium of course, sewing. It could be gluing, right, or it could be taping, and it could be even today we're going to see the safety pin, right? So we say you have two pieces of material, and you put the safety pin through, in and out, so it would hold materials very good, right? Very good. So let's see. So part number 1, other prohibited methods of fastening. Okay, fastening. So, and we said what is not fastening. Not fastening is something that you do in a temporary manner, right? And I think last time there were questions about Velcro. So it's not fastening, even though it's going to hold, but they were designed in a way that to be like a normal way of use. So we compare Velcro is actually to the buttons, right? So, I mean, halachically. And same with the zipper, right? When you put the zipper, do it join 2 pieces of fabric together, but 100%. But that's the intention. Then you unzip. Okay. So it says fastening with safety pins. There is a general. There is a question whether fastening with safety pin by threading the pin back and forth through an item and closing it is considered a form of sewing. So before we continue, so last time we said how what is considered to be minimum sewing on a biblical level. So you go in with the needle. You go inside through the fabric, and then you go outside, you go in, and then you make knots. Knots meaning that they're not going to the thread is not going to get out by itself, right? So now he's saying exactly the same. You can do with a safety pin. In, out, right, and close. When you close safety pin, it's like the nuts. It's not going to get undone by itself. That's the story. Many poskim hold that this is now different from sewing a thread, right, as we said, we just showed. Whereas others contend that this is not considered sewing. A third opinion differentiates between attaching the pin temporarily and permanently, and that's actually in many halachas. that we're going to see like when there are two opinions, and there is like a middle ground opinion, which is say it depends. It depends how you do it, like for what period of time you do it. It's a permanent, so that's, I mean, when we sewing something together, two pieces of fabric together, it's like when you sew in a button, right? So you sew in the button, so maybe next time should not be next time. So when it's a warehouse, you just throw it in the garbage and that's it. But you don't have intention to cut the button and then resew it again, right? Usually. So I mean, when you sewing things, it's for permanently. But nobody would sew things like temporarily, unless it's I don't know, when the tailor would do it like temporarily, and then they see how it looks, and then they do like permanent stitching. But we're not talking about it. Okay, so that's very important. So the third opinion said it depends. It's temporary or permanently. Since the issue involved possible biblical prohibition, we must adopt the stringent view. So that's our absolutely always our approach. If it's a biblical, for sure, for sure it's biblical, right? For sure it's biblical, and possibly this safety pin, where then it goes like what was a thread in and out. So meaning the two ends on the same side, whether on top or on bottom, doesn't matter, right? So we have to adopt the stringent opinion. However, there are circumstances in which the use of the pin is permitted. So usually under normal circumstances, don't do it. But since there is a contrary opinion, so we will see like in some special cases. So what is the special case? Number one, insert the pin only once. Even I guess even closing, and we said that there is no problem with a thread, and even if person would make knots. I mean, making the knot is a different story. It's a different story, different prohibition. Okay, so it would not be considered like violation. Like if you thread only one time, it's not going to hold in place for sure. Okay, so again, inserting the pin only once. As mentioned previously, passing a thread through the fabric only once is not considered sewing at all, even if the ends of the thread are tied. I mean, of course, again, it's a different Melachah. We didn't get to it, but we are not allowed to make knots on Shabbos. So, but they try, the way I understand, they try to get the point across, even if you're going to tie the ends, meaning they're not going to do by themselves. Even in this case, it's not forbidden, right? Even if you pierce only once, okay, thread only once. It is therefore permitted to pass safety pin through the two pieces of fabric merely once and close the pin. To clarify, I mean, right? So safety pin is one that you can close. To clarify, the pin should be pierced fabric only once and emerge the opposite side. So right, opposite side. So only once. Practically speaking, one can do this near the ends of the items being fastened in order to be able to close the pin. Right. So you cannot do like something in the middle of the garment. So in the middle of the garment, you can do in and out. Yes, that's what is forbidden. But one time, it's only like on the edge. Okay, so far so good. Number two, pinning temporarily. Okay, so one time is no problem, right? And temporary. We mentioned earlier that there is a view which permits sewing when the stitches will be left in place for less than 24 hours. In the case of necessity, 7 days. So, and it's a general rule. It's 24 hours. 24 hours. It's of course preferable to always abide by this. Like I would say, even not 24 hours, but as soon as Shabbos ends, right? There is also opinion like this, and like as soon as Shabbos ends, you undo whatever was done, or like of course we can always rely on this opinion 24 hours, but or 7 days. So, but 7 days, it's not complete 7 days. It's very important. 7 days meaning to end before Shabbos. So it's not exactly 7 days, but like undo this thing before Shabbos. We do not ordinarily rely upon this view, meaning being temporarily. But in regard to using safety pins, we may rely upon it, since some poskim permit the use of the safety pin altogether. So it's a very good point, right? So usually we would not rely on it, right? Because why not rely? Because the safety pin a person can forget, especially if they close it inside. So if it's outside, it would look stupid, right? So I mean, right? People would be embarrassed to go outside. I mean, right? If you were trying to fix something, right? To go from the place that you were to home, right? There is no problem. But to walk like this on the street, so most people not going to do that, right? But if you close the pin from inside and that does not bother you, maybe you're going to forget. Right, so that's why they say usually do not rely on this opinion, but this case is going to be explanation, since we mentioned second opinion that say there is a safety pin have nothing to do with the sewing. Okay, so in this case, so we have room for leniency, and we can say we can close safety pin. Right, again, in and out, right? So meaning it's on the same side, right? Only temporarily. Meaning what? Temporarily less than 24 hours, or up to 7 days. Okay. However, it must be absolutely clear that the attachment of the is of temporary nature. The spin must therefore be inserted in a manner which ensure that it will be removed after Shabbos, right? So meaning don't do it from inside, do it from outside of the garment, so it would bother you, so you're not going to forget, because people do forget many things, right? Right. Okay, after Shabbos. For example, if hem came loose, one may fasten it with a large safety pin that will be bothersome, right? If left in a place permanently, meaning, right? So if it's a tiny one, who cares? I mean, it looks nice, right? Maybe you're not going to see, but we have a big one, huge one. It's very annoying. So yes, it looks ridiculous. That's exactly what we need, not to embarrass a person, but to make sure that he's going to or she's going to undo in the next 24 hours. If one wants to use small pins, okay, so as we see, small pins is an issue because a person might forget. He should thread them through the fabric in a manner that makes them somewhat visible from the outside, meaning that in order to undo. For this will surely cause him to remove it as soon as possible. Okay, so that's second point. Third point, using straight pins. So straight pins is the one, as we said, the most common today, and today they would use in the men's short when they pocket the shorts, like a dress shorts, they would use all of this safety pin. Right. I mean, nowadays, you use them less and less. Last time I unpacked the shorts, I think it was only 1 or 2. It used to be so many, 5 or 6 or 7, maybe even more. Right, safety pins. But right, and one straight pins. So straight pins meaning it is a pin, but on the end it's set like something like end. Okay. Alternative methods of ensuring that one removes the pins is to use straight pins rather than safety pins, right? So meaning it's dangerous to leave, right? If you touch it, you can prick yourself. One will certainly not leave them in place permanently due to the danger that they can prick him, right? Accidentally, of course. Prick him. Not that it would be forbidden to fasten something permanently, with a straight pin, since sewing a double stitch, there is a piercing the fabric twice, is forbidden rabbinically, even if the ends of the thread are not fastened. And it's a very important point. So when we said what is forbidden biblically, right, to pierce in and out, so meaning the both ends on the same side, up or down, doesn't matter, and then they tie them, right, meaning that to make sure that they're not going to be undone by itself. But if you just go in and out, so basically, like technically, if you think about it, if you like pull materials away, so this stitching is going to get undone. But they say even if you have one end, like one knot, right, or even no knots, but you did two ends, you pierce and two ends on one side, right? It is forbidden rabbinically to do so. I guess rabbis were afraid that that's my personal explanation, because it's like the next step a person is going to make a knot. Right? It's only like logical to make more sense. So if we allow them that, the next step is going to be this. Okay, and plus they did not attend our class, so how would they know? Number 4, cases of necessity. In case of necessity, where none of the aforementioned methods are feasible, one may rely upon the poskim, who permits the use of safety pins altogether. Okay, so I think we're going to see like special cases. What is the cases of necessity? I mean, somebody like ripped his pants or something, or a woman like some accident happened, right? And we have to close up. Okay. So subsection B, gluing and taping. So again, it's adhesive in using any kind of adhesive is absolutely forbidden. And sometimes, what could be adhesive? Adhesive could be food particles. So some people, and I saw wow, how do you get so much crumbs or so much like food in the books? I said, no, it's our Shabbos book. But I mean, if you call it book, it's a little embarrassing. So we also read the books around the table Shabbos night. So what do? You finish it and then you push your plate away, right? Plate off. So you have a clean tablecloth. Empty tablecloth, and you put there is no food particles, and then you eat from and you read there. Like, why do you need to eat and have your book open? Like, it's in my mind it's a disrespect to a book in my mind, right? And when these particles fall in, even crumbs, like they're not talking glue, crumbs, they have this adhesive essence in them. So if you close the books, after some time they can get stuck, the pages can get stuck. Very simple, right? So technically, in some sense, that he glued 2 pages of the book. Okay, so again, gluing and taping. Of course, it was unintentional and stuff like that, right? But still, the end result is this. Since the Melachah of sewing is defined as united 2 items or parts of an item, so 2 separate types or two sides of the same item, as we said before, right? Part of that into one, right? So two separate parts or separate sides, two different sides of one item. It applies to pasting with the glue or tape, as well as sewing with thread. So doesn't matter. I mean, if the end result that these 2 sides are going to hold in place. Okay, be held in place. Right, 1 second. All of these methods, mending, fall under the Melachah. Okay. Pasting includes attachment, separate items. For example, 2 pieces of paper with a glue or tape, as well as the attachment attaching the adhesive items. For example, a postage stamp, adhesive notes, and to another item. So this adhesive knots, we have to do just clarification. So adhesive knots, it's something that is designed to stay there permanently. So if you do like this, they call it flags. By muktzeh, they call it flags, right? There is no problem. Or even some people like to use the sticky notes. They see yellow, right? They call it sticky notes. I don't know, maybe another name, but okay, these yellow ones, right? As a bookmark, there is no problem whatsoever to move them during on Shabbos. Why? Because first of all, it's the glue is not sticky, right? I mean, it's going to hold in place, but it's very, very gently. First of all, and secondly, it was not designed to be attached permanently. Right, and it's not going to be attached permanently, especially if my mind. So like I'm going to use this book, and I moving the bookmark constantly. Okay. Continue. There is a leniency that applies specifically to taping. Okay, but the sewing is generally forbidden, even for a short term of less than 24 hours. Right, sewing. Some poskim rule that the taping for a short term is permitted. This is because the taping things together with intent to separate them shortly thereafter is more similar to buttoning than sewing. This does not apply to gluing. So right, so taping. I mean, of course, we need an example. What kind of taping, and we're going to see the example. But others like so temporary things, it's like a buttoning. So that's, and we sell Velcro in this like Halachic category. And you see how Halacha develops, right? From the old days, when of course in old days we had the buttons, right? But we didn't have Velcro, we didn't have zippers. So our sages of later generation, that they would need to figure out like what category, Halachic category, they have to put, like in what Halachic category they have to put Velcro. Okay, so this taping is different. So the taping is like buttoning, and it's not like gluing. So right, gluing it for sure permanently. Some poskim therefore permit securing a disposable diaper with adhesive tapes, since the tapes assuredly be unfastened in short order when diapers are removed. One should note, however, that since the taping something permanently is prohibited, one must later unfasten the adhesive tapes rather than slip the diapers of the child. So before we continue, so what are we talking about? So we're talking about diapers, and you have this adhesive tape to close up. Right? So there's some pull-ups like with elastic, so they're different stories. So you don't have to do anything. But the regular diapers, like standard, like a classic type, is you put the diaper and then you close up from two things. So this adhesive tapes, right, 100%. So but they say it is allowed, because it is for sure for the period less than 24 hours, for sure. Right? Right. It's most likely for a few hours only. So that's why they allowed to use this adhesive tape. But the problem would be when you take off when you take off the diapers for a child, don't close them. I mean, usually that's what people do in order for the smell that would not escape. So that's what you do. You tie it tightly and then you close. And that's the problem. That's a huge problem. Why? Because now you attach this tape permanently, right? For sure. That's I mean, nobody in their right mind would undo this tape, right? So that's the problem. And now sages say, don't do it. Don't attach the tape. So you just put this in the back or something. So if it's going to get attached by itself, that's not your business, basically. That's not what you intended. But don't attach it when before disposal. Furthermore, right? Okay. So that's what we said. Okay, so next one is stapling. So I see stapling. Stapling two items together in a form of sewing, and thus is forbidden for sure. Like you staple, it's like a thread, right? It goes like two ends in the same from the same side, and then you bend it. So when you bend the staple, right, it's like making a knot. It's not going to get undone by itself. So for sure, it is forbidden. Right. Continue. Closing wounds. Okay, so now that's not so simple. According to some poskim, the Melachah of sewing pertains even to mending the human body. Right? Some so meaning getting stitches. So meaning what does it mean to get stitches? Meaning if you're not absolutely necessary to get stitches, so maybe you should not. I mean, today they have a different different devices how to do that, like without classic stitches. Let me see. Okay, no, he's not there. She's not there. Have a professional here with us, but he's not here. All right, unfortunately. So right, right. So there is other ways to mend the wounds. Hence, it would be forbidden to close the wound with sutures in parentheses stitches, or with a butterfly, or a steri-strip bandage. These forms of medical treatment sometimes involve the Melachah of drawing blood. So that's another story, right? So even though you have a wound, now the blood stops, and when you start stitching, when you pierce through the skin, most likely you're going to draw blood, right? If it's necessary, but and drawing blood is a biblical Melachah. Right, what is the Melachah? Shchita, right? So we're not allowed to do shchita. In case of necessity, a competent Halachic authority should be consulted. Okay, meaning to get stitches, not to get stitches. The use of Band-Aid will be discussed below in a practical application section this chapter, page 76. Okay, we're going to get to it. Okay, so we got about closing wounds. So if it's a dangerous wound and the doctor say, look, unless we close it, it's going to get infected and this and that. So as we were talking about this, three categories of sick people, right? And we discussed whether or not we can take medicine in one of these categories. So we've also said that if it's needed for protection of health, right. So for protection, so actually it is allowed. It would be allowed. So if doctors say or a nurse say otherwise you can get infected, the hand is going to chas v'shalom get infected, and we have to amputate it. So yeah. So I say yes. Yeah, of course. There's no problem. So continue. Part number 3, permitted methods of fastening. Okay. It is permitted to fasten garments by using buttons and zippers. Okay, just buttons and zippers. There is no problem. Or Velcro. Okay, we said. Fastening through the one of these methods is not like sewing, since the two items that will be fastened are not thereby viewed as one unified item. Let's try to understand this statement. Okay, so I would say they're like buttons and period, but they go a step further. Again, fastening through the one of these methods, meaning buttons, Velcro, and zipper, right, is not like sewing, right? Even though it looks like so. You have, for example, you have a coat, right, and it's open. So you bring the two pieces together, even as we said on two pieces on one item, and you button it. So you connect in some sense, right? Sewing. Right, sewing in some sense two sides together, but it's not. Okay, so why is that? One more time. Fastening through one of these methods is not like sewing, since the two items that are fastened are not thereby viewed as unified item. Okay, not with a unified item, but as separate ones that are held together. Okay, so that's the approach. So they just held together two sides of the jacket, right, by the means of the buttons. Okay, it is therefore permitted even to fasten an article permanently by one of these methods. For example, if one of the zipper inlining into the raincoat and leave it there permanently. So that's a big hidush. That's a big hidush. So they say since it is allowed to begin with, so you can do it permanently. Or maybe what would be in another case, so like if you have like a sport jacket or something, right? You have adjusted sleeves, right? So like with the Velcro, so to make it a little more, a little less, and yeah. So that's what people do. Or kids' jackets, right? They have adjustment for the sleeves, or like strip lining, right? This lining in the raincoats, in the different coats. I mean that's right. I have those, like because you can wear them for a very long time. You really need two coats. One coat is enough. Right, so you have a coat. You still like you wear it in this weather when it's not too cold. When it's get cold in the winter, you just add the linings. Right. So okay. So next part is number 4, practical applications, and very long section about band-aids. Right. As explained above, it is permitted to attach an adhesive item to another surface temporarily for less than 24 hours, right? So again, it says for less than 24. It's not 24 hours, but less than 24 hours. So they mean like by the end of this, like after, like as soon as Shabbos ends. So they expect us to remove it. Okay, so that's the thing. Okay, so less than 24 hours. In case of necessity 7 days. We got it. But it is forbidden to attach it permanently. It is thus permissible. So although we're talking about band-aids, like they're more like tapes, okay, permanently, and thus it is thus permissible to put a band-aid over the wound, since the band-aid certainly stands to remove before long. I mean, if you have a band-aid, maybe I don't know, maybe overnight or something, like half a day, maybe. I mean, if person does not do much, right with that part of the body, maybe the whole day. Sometimes it's longer, but usually when people cut themselves in the hands or something, right? When in the hands, when you wash a few times your hands, I mean, most likely it's going to come off soon. Okay, so basically, for sure, if you have this band-aid on a finger or something, so it's going to be temporary, which is good. However, one should be careful to attach the band-aid only to the skin, from where one must ultimately separate it. Right. So meaning what? So don't do like if a person does a band-aid with a band-aid on the finger, for example. So of course it's longer than the finger. What usually people do, they close one end and then second end close on the first end. That's the problem. So why? Because you fasten in two ends. That's what he's saying. It's absolutely forbidden. How you should do it, like in an angle. One is on top and one is on the bottom. Like so these two sides of the band-aid do not touch. Okay, and when you remove that's it. They're not touch. And when you remove, just throw like this in the garbage, and that's it. Don't do anything. So if it get attached in the garbage, it's not your business. Right? I mean, you don't benefit in any way. And plus, your intention that it should not be attached, right? Should not be attached. Right and problem. So problem. He's saying even somebody did by mistake, like regular, like on on the finger, and then like second size he actually attached to the first one. So he said when he removed it, like when you already did it, but when you're going to remove, make sure that you separate the tape. Don't just slip off your finger, because if you're going to throw out like this, and it's a problem. So meaning it's permanent attachment. Continue. If one mistakenly. Okay, right. So exactly as we said, but quickly to read. If one mistakenly fastened one end of the band-aid to another on Shabbos, one should be sure to unfasten the ends when removing the band-aid. Right. So I would say it's better, because a person might forget, to do it like this, to open, do one to the bottom, one to the top, in this section, in this manner, so that its sides would not touch. Or if you don't want, no problem, when you undo completely. Similarly, one should not use band-aid or a tape to secure the cloth or gauze bandage in place on Shabbos. So that's what they do. They have a tape, this medical grade tape, and it's very convenient, but that's a problem. First of all, you're going to cut it to the size, right? And it's a separate issue. The other one should tie the bandage down with a handkerchief, right? So I mean, they apply the medicine, let's say this and that, or they won't just close the wound, they would get no infection. But technically, you're not you can do it without these band-aids, like to tie it, or without this medical tape, right? You can tie it with something, right? With something else. As he said, the handkerchief. However, if one did secure it with a tape, so we're talking about after the fact, one should be sure to unfasten the tape from the bandage when he removes it. Okay, and one who's customarily fastened the tape each time he opens the bandage is permitted to fasten this tape on Shabbos, meaning that since people change the bandages, I'm not sure. It looks like here they're talking about a case when they change the bandages pretty fast, pretty often, right? So he's going to unfasten it. Okay. The issue of unfastening the plastic top that factory sealed, the factory attached to adhesive part of the band-aid is discussed on page 95. Okay, we're not going to get to it, but we're going to explain. The issue is removing band-aid from the hairy part of the body discussed on the page 165. So meaning what? Especially with men, like if it's on a hand and you have hairs there, so it's a problem. It's a problem because you're going to pull the hair most likely. So you have to be very careful, right? It's the different melachah of plucking. So we're not allowed to pluck something that's attached to the ground. That's a different story. And adhesive, these adhesive tabs, they talking about these things when you take out the band-aid from this package, right? So you have like the band-aid itself, but there is like paper things. They call plastic. I mean, I think it's paper, okay? But whatever is it, right? So meaning that now you're going to separate it. Is it allowed? Of course, allowed or not? We're going to see. So let me see. How long is this chapter? Okay, so we continue. So next topic is diapers. It is permitted to fasten diapers with a safety pin even by threading it through the diaper twice, since the pin will surely be removed from the diaper when the diaper is changed. Okay, so meaning maybe these plastic tabs are not good, or a person is trying to be careful. I'm just trying to understand the reason, and they do not want to use this adhesive tabs, and they want to use this safety pin, because for sure they're going to remove the safety pin. So it's also a solution. I mean, I don't think a person is obligated to go through all of this trouble. I don't think so. But in case of the need, or these adhesive types are not good, I don't know, whatever the reason is. Okay. As mentioned above, page 71, 72, and 74, it is permitted to fasten disposable diapers with adhesive tabs, but one must be sure to unfasten the tabs when removing the diaper. Right, so meaning don't throw the diaper with this adhesive tabs, otherwise it's going to be permanent. That's the problem. Also, the disposing of a diaper, one must not fasten the adhesive tabs to the diaper. Right, one must not do adhesive tapes to the diaper, as we said. Other issue related to the use of disposable diapers are whether it is permitted to unfasten the adhesive tabs from the plastic tabs, meaning that there's a plastic that was attached to them. And they call it plastic, but it's more than the paper, right? I think the wax paper or something, right? So, right, to remove this piece of paper before you stick to the diaper, okay? So we're going to see in a different chapter, page 995. I'm not sure what subject is it. One second, quickly. Oh, it's actually tearing. Okay, so it's different Melachah. Okay, no problem. So next thing is the sanitary napkins. It is permitted to fasten the sanitary napkins to the undergarment on Shabbos by means of adhesive strips. Right, since the napkins tend to remain attached only for a short period of time. That's everybody understand. She's not going to go for a long time with that. Concerning going outdoors on Shabbos while wearing sanitary napkin, see 108. Right, so if a woman needs this sanitary napkin, there is no problem if she has this her period, but just in case she cannot. She cannot wear them, right? Because to protect her garments, just in case, it's going to be 100% caring, absolutely forbidden. Okay, so next one is photo albums. Picture may not be fastened in the album that has adhesive pages. So old style, right? Even older style was they were like corners, in each page, so you can insert your pictures and at the same time, I'm more recent one. It was like adhesive pages, and you have the plastic on top, and you put all of the pictures. Okay. Continue. Next one: loose threads or buttons. Right. So that's very, very common. Right. It is forbidden to tighten a loose thread or a seam or a hem, or a hem. Or loose button on Shabbos. So meaning how you tie it, you just pull it and become tighter. So it's it's in some sense it's like sewing. So before that it was hanging, and now you pull it, and now it's holding good. So basically, if this button is very good, very bad situation, what is it? What does it mean? It's almost it's going to fall off very soon. Meaning that this. The whole suit, the whole your garment, whatever it is going to become muktzeh. You'll not be allowed to take it out. Why? Because most likely the button is going to fall somewhere in the middle of the road, and you will be tempted to pick it up, put it in your pocket, or walk with it for amos, right? Which is forbidden. So that's why our sages, the great memory and the great wisdom, said, don't do it. Don't. So this whole thing becomes muktzeh. And as well they say what else is muktzeh? All of this holy scrolls. So meaning a Torah scroll, right, written on the parchment, and all of the books of Tanakh, they're muktzeh, right? They're tameh. So meaning they pass the impurity. and it's actually from Talmud Megillah, and they discuss like all the different scrolls if they can pass in impurity. And like if person does not understand, somebody asked me like, so this your Torah is impure, the Torah is impure. I say, it's like it's very good to read one line, but you have to continue reading, and you have to see like all of the commentaries. So I would say, just say, in order for people like to have appreciation to this Torah scrolls, like on a parchment, especially the holy ones from Tanakh. So in order for them not to touch them with their finger, right? And because the ink can be dissolved from the grease, like the body produces. It's not like you grease it that you ate something with your hands. No, it's like a natural body protection, right? That you have on the fingers, and that they buy. You can dissolve the ink and spoil the letter. So they say it's tameh. So meaning that we should not touch the parchment without bare hands. And it happened to me, like I was almost like had a heart attack. So there's one guy that likes to pick up the Torah. But when he likes to pick up the Torah, he likes to show off, and he's one of the kind people. If you tell him something, like he gives you like 17 like arguments back that why he's right, and you don't know anything, right? So he opens up usually like on five columns, and it happens not once, not twice. It happened, I don't know, many times already, but this time it was disaster. So when he opens up, so Ashkenazim's custom is he sits down, not like this Chabadnik. Like you sit down, and there is a second person, so he roll up the Torah. But the thing is, when he opens on the five columns, with Shulchan Aruch says don't do it, but okay, so right, don't do it. You have to open 3 columns. But it's very hard to it's heavy Torah, especially like in the beginning of the year. You have all the weight on your left hand. If you're not lefty, it's not simple, right? And the second guy who rolls, maybe he takes his time, and this guy has to hold the Torah very wide, and he tried to pull it back, put it back together. And guess what? Happened to this clown 3 times maybe. So the cloth falls, and somebody before that, somebody who was standing there, Rabbi, he would take it with the talus. You're not allowed to use the hands with the talus. But when there is no talus, for example, in Shabbos afternoon, right, there is no talus in that time. So you will take a mantle, have the gartel, the belt from the Torah, and with material, holy material, and you take it and then you pull these up things, the parchment up, so they can scroll. And guess what? And they were everybody froze. Nobody knew what to do. And this guy, younger guy, he jumps in and he grabs the Torah scroll with his fingers. I was like, what? And then he pulls it. I mean, he saved the situation. He understood what happened. So he ran to the bathroom to wash his hands, basically, because of this impurity. Understand? So, and our sages were considering in this Talmud Megillah, and they were asking, is it holy text or not? Right? Megillah Esther, right? Is it holy or not? How do you know? What did the sages say? Does it transmit impurity or not? Very interesting. Right? So it transmits impurity, but in this case, it's shows you only holiness. Okay. So continue. So I'm sure beside that. So next one, loose threads or buttons. It is forbidden to tighten the loose thread or seam or hem or the loose button on Shabbos. Okay, we said that. Next one, loose book covers. It is forbidden to tape book cover or to reattach the tape that came loose from the binding of the book on Shabbos. So that's things that we do not do. Next one. Adhesive notes. Okay, so he said it is forbidden, but we know that it's not. So I'm not sure what kind of notes he's talking about, but this sticky notes not. Okay, safety pins. So we spoke about it, and last one is the brooch pins, right? So when women use as decoration, right? dormant. It is permitted to attach a brooch on to a garment on Shabbos, even by threading the pin twice. The brooch is always twice, right? Always twice. Why is it? Because she is going to remove it when she comes home, right? Otherwise, you can ruin the garment. So that's, if you leave it there, it's heavy, and the garment, let's say it's not that thick. So yeah, I can ruin the garment. Okay, so I think we can stop here. What time is? It's perfect timing. So next topic we're going to learn Beezrat HaShem, chapter 17, Korea. Korea is stealing. So sewing and tearing, even though we explained before, it's they were used in the same action. Meaning what? When there were hole in a hole or in this parashah, this curtain, so they would like a small hole from insects. So they would make a bigger hole, right? And then it would be easier to fix. If it's tiny hole, it's visible, but it's not easy to fix. So I always had a question, right? It says in Beis Hamikdash, they did not have animals, they did not have flies, right? They would be attracted to meat. But looks like in the desert, so all of these things were in the desert, so that they have this moss or whatever they had, insects. So I don't have a question, but I don't have an answer, but I have this question for a long time. All right, so let's do 5 minutes break, and we're going to continue with different topics, and we have today's story night. All right. 5 minutes. So we continue today with a story from the book Whatever Now. And we're in a parashah Kiddushim. And our topic today is the money changer lucky messenger. Okay, so let's see. The challenge. Reuven had $100,000 and wanted to change them into shekels when the dollar was at a low rate, 3.3 shekels. 3.3, it's pretty low. So last time we exchanged like 3.7 something, like almost 4, right? 3.8, right? So 3.3 is very low, of course. So again, the Reuven had $100,000 that he wanted to change into shekels. When the dollar was at low rate, 3.3 shekels to the dollar. Okay. He gave the money to Shimon with request that he brings it to the money changer and makes a transaction on his behalf. So it's a huge transaction, $100,000. Try to count it. Okay. Of course you can count, but it takes very long time. And plus shekels, so many shekels. Okay. But okay, so far so good. Shimon took the money, but on the way to the money changer, he reconsidered. Why should I go to the money changer to buy shekels? I have 330,000 shekels in my bank. I'll trade Reuven's money myself, right? He kept the money, withdrew the 330,000 shekels from his account and gave to Reuven. So, right, does Reuven care? No. He knew the exchange rate, and he got exactly what he wanted. A year later, Reuven had a similar request. He had 400,000 shekels, and he wanted to trade them into dollars. After the dollar had risen to the rate of 4 shekels per dollar. You can imagine how much money people made. So 4 shekels per dollar, meaning the shekel dropped. Okay. He once again asked Shimon to make transaction on his behalf. So meaning like a clear, like straightforward this amounts, right? Round account. Okay. So he said 400,000, right? So he has 400,000, and he wants 100,000 in dollars. Okay. And once again, he asked Shimon to make transaction on his behalf. Shimon took the money, but he remembered that about 100,000 that Reuven had previously given him. Here's a chance to make easy profit of 70,000 shekels, right? 70,000 shekels. So I mean, he bought like 3.3. Now he exchanged for 400, right? That's how where he get this amount. Okay. Right. So meaning right. Okay. So continue. So meaning when he gave up, right? So it was $100,000. So $100 amount does not change, right? He bought 330,000 shekels, and now, right? And he got his 100,000, and now for this 100,000, he's going to get 400,000 shekels. So meaning 70,000 he makes in profit. He took Reuven's $100,000. He had brought last time, right? Last year, and returned it to him, keeping 400,000 shekels for himself. Thank you for your business, Shimon said. So, like many times, it's good to keep your mouth shut, but he could not. Right? Thank you for your business, Shimon said, as he returned $100,000 and explained what he had done. A week later, Reuven again approached Shimon and asked for a loan of $70,000. Shimon happily lent him $70,000. He had made off on a dollars exchange. But when Reuven took it, he grinned and said, "Listen, Shimon, this $70,000 shekels is mine, and you are not getting it back. You held it you held on to my $100,000 for a year, and then you gave it back to me. That gives you the right to make 70,000 shekels from it." So Shimon said, like, you had all this money, so right, the money did not change, right? So we'll see. So the point is that Reuven was what's his name? He was like a shaliach, right? A messenger of Shimon, right? And messenger cannot buy things for himself, right? As we're going to see. So Shimon took the Reuven's money. Okay, who is right? The Shulchan Aruch Hoshen Hamishpat 185:2 rules that when a messenger is sent to sell something, he is technically unable to buy it for himself. He cannot. And same actually the same law is about about whom? About the finder. I apologize. About the finder. So if somebody found a lost article and he see that this lost article starts spoiling, he bought he found he found the sack of wheat, and then he sees the wheat starts spoiling. So and the owner is not coming to pick it up, to identify. So he's obligated to sell it and keep the money, right? And when the owner comes and he identifies the wheat, the bag, the quantity, the quality, whatever he can identify in this bag, and so he's going to give him money. But he cannot say, oh, there is one bag of wheat. How much? But there is some spoil. I'm going to throw out 15%, so I can come up with this price, and maybe it's 20%. But who counts? Basically, he's not going to give anything. So I would say it's actually halacha. He has to go to the Beis Din, right, and sell it to someone else, right? He's not allowed to, even for a fair price, to leave it to himself, right? So he has to sell to the third party and hold on to the money, right? So that's halach. So we don't. Our sages knew the human psychology, right? So because the person would get attached to the money, he said it's actually my money. I got this money. So they say no, sell it. Somebody gives you the money for this wheat, and you wait. Okay. Sma. in section 4, explained that every sale involves a transaction in which the item for sale passes one hand to another. So sale, what does it mean sale? I have wheat, he has money, he gives me money, I give him wheat, that's transaction. Good. But here it's not. So looks like a shaliach, it's like a representative of this person. It's like his hand, it's like extension of his hand, and that's why shaliach can do many things for me, right? He can do like for example, for circumcision of my son, and right, it's like I'm doing. So who is obligated to do? I'm obligated to do. But can I do it? No, I'm going to faint and kill the baby. It's better not. So I'm going to give it to him as right. Going to appoint him as a shaliach in my place. Or for example, you need somebody. You left to whatever business trip, and you need somebody to search for homeless. So you can appoint somebody else, right? And of course there is the language of nullification is a little different, but the point is that you did the mitzvah. Did you do the mitzvah? No, you were far away. No, you did the mitzvah through somebody else. So meaning that person is extension of your hand. So at business transaction, it's from hand to hand, which did not happen here. So that's introduction to what we're going to say. If the messenger were to buy it for himself, there would be no transaction of ownership, transfer of ownership, since he represents the seller. So meaning that in some sense he sold to the seller using his own money. The same may be said of our case, since Shimon was appointed as Reuben's representative to sell the dollars. He could not buy them for himself. There were no two parties between which to effect the transfer of ownership, meaning it was two physical people, but this second man, Reuben, was actually the messenger of Shimon. Since Shimon was both the buyer and the seller at once, meaning you can buy this, you can sell this messenger to sell for you or to buy for you. Right? That's what all the stores do, right? All those companies they have buyers and they sell to buy like to make orders, so for a merchandise, right? So but they represent the company. Right. So, but a person cannot be buyer and a seller all at once. Therefore, the money truly remained in Reuben's possession all along. So, in my company, it's very interesting. So, in the company that I used to work, we had this. Our company was small, but the companies who bought us, they bought us like. Our company was sold and bought 3 or 4 or 5 times. For like in the period that I was working there. So when they hired me, they just sold it to the big company, right? And then they were expanding, and then they sold and bought like a few times. So we changed the names, we changed the bosses. Okay, so all right, but at the last point, it's very interesting. So since the company had many the departments and like totally like all around the world, right? So somebody in management came up with a great idea. So I say, why we buy these services from somebody else? Because all the companies they were buying companies, so and they would buy services from outside vendors. So buy from inside. So basically, like people were charging, of course, it's discount price from department to department. So in some sense, what I'm trying to say, so they were selling the sources to themselves, right? But it's not exactly, because instead of buying from outside vendors, they would buy from internal vendors. Okay, but here is for sure there is no two sides. Okay, so therefore the money truly remained in Reuben's possession. Possession all along. Okay, I think it's Shimon's possession. Okay, so let's see the commentary. The Shach in Machane Ephraim, Hilchas Shluchim 20. Note that some opinions argue against the Shulchan Aruch on this point. Nevertheless, since Reuben has already taken hold of $70,000, or Reuven, right? So he may base himself on Shulchan Aruch opinion as his justification to keep it. Therefore, the Beis Din cannot force him to return it, even though some opinions hold that he should. So that's a very interesting situation. And Rambam concludes that in some cases, when Gibrat does not come up with decision, right? So we said it's technically like if this guy has it, okay, what can we do? We cannot remove it. So right, because the burden of the proof on another side. But if another side like grab it like forcefully and take it to their own domain, so now we cannot take it from him because there is the other side must prove that it belongs to them, and they cannot. So that's exactly the logic here. However, since this this guy Reuven, so already took the money, right, forcefully. So he took the money. So that's it. So we don't have a proof to take it from him, basically. Since again, because there are two different opinions in Shulchan Aruch, so he goes by Shulchan Aruch. However, the Machane Ephraim, Hilchas Shlukim 20, rules that the moment the messenger returns to the seller with the money for an item, he concludes his assignment. Meaning, it's a very interesting point. Meaning, whatever he's left, like in his possession, is his. At that point, he is no longer the seller's representative. By giving the seller the money, he can now affect the transaction of ownership between himself and the seller. So now, like it's totally different relation, he can sell. It doesn't, okay, so continue. In regard to our case, we may also say that as soon as a Shimon gave Reuven his 330,000 shekels, he concluded his first assignment and was thus able to acquire the dollars, meaning the dollars are his. He then had every right to sell them back to Shimon for 400,000 shekels and keeps his difference. Thus, Reuven must return him his 70,000 shekels. Right. So even though Shulchan Aruch says no, but according to these opinions, right? So he must return. Okay. So why? Because the transaction was complete. So we split transaction is it's like logically it seems correct. It's not like it was two transactions a year apart. So and this guy this guy Reuven got everything he wanted. He gave the money. He gave 100,000, got 330,000, but he got everything that he wanted. So he was satisfied. Meaning we closed the case at there. And then the next time, this Shimon acquired this $100,000. Okay, so and he can do whatever he wants. So if he wants to exchange, he can. I mean, even if it's not proper. So, but it's not proper, but after the fact. Okay, so we stop here. That is all right. All right, so let's try to. So we're going to continue today with our Hilchas Yichud. We are on same chapter 3, section C, subsection C, and subsection C4. And we're talking about, we're going to details of Baloch beer. So, and it says, the halacha regarding Baloch beer, when the woman is not home. Right. So now we're talking about like, when she's not home. Meaning that we need to see if he knows where is she. Right. That's the thing. According to some poskim, see Chachmas Adam 146.6. The exemption of Baloch beer only applies if she's at home. There is her husband knows her whereabouts. So at home, as I understand, it's he knows her whereabouts. Maybe she can be in somewhere else, but he knows exactly where is she. Okay. Or is likely to be able to find her. Okay. However, if the husband does not know her whereabouts, Yichud would not be permitted even though the husband is in the city. For example, number one, according to this view, a woman who sells a real estate in a city may not enter alone into the locked home or the building with a man, for example, a buyer or a seller, even one who is a Torah observant, right? So meaning this balog bir is not going to apply because she's going like from show to show, right? If your husband does not know where she is at the time, even if it is local, right? Even if it's local, right? I mean, this real estate, I'm not sure. It's a tough business, real estate. So some people do think that everybody in real estate rich. I don't think so. Right. So continue. Number two. Similarly, according to this view, a social worker or a speech therapist who does the therapy for children in private homes may not remain alone with a 10-year-old boy, right? They say male client, if the boy's mother leaves the house, for example, on an errand, and a therapist's husband, who is presently in the home, is in the same neighborhood or city, does not know where she's within at that time, or she would just say in general, like I'm going to this in this street. I mean, this is the street. It's like it's not precise address. So meaning, even if he wants, he would not be able to find him. That's the thing. It is. It also follows, according to the poskim cited above, that that in circumstances where a woman's husband cannot have access to see her, yichud may be forbidden, even if he is in a town, and knows her precise whereabouts. Okay. For example, according to this view, a woman whose employer maintains strict working hours and does not allow any visitation to her place of work without an appointment, right? Or as is often case in a professional office comprising lawyers, doctor, etc., in a group, meaning, right? So they cannot, people just cannot come up, right, to the floor. Should not see a male client or a patient, even if it's not gosbo, right? See chapter 4. We're going to see. So in this professional environment, meaning that he's not going to come. I mean, unless he makes a point. But I mean, sometimes like they're not so strict in the security if they know that it's your husband, right? Okay. So again, so this woman should not meet this male client or a patient behind the closed doors in her private office or examination room, even if your husband is in a town, because yes, he's there, but it's not so easy to get to him. However, see one and 2 below regarding lenient opinions. Also note that there can be solutions to permit yichud according to all opinions, with the use of surveillance technology. Right, surveillance technology. Regarding questions, so meaning, with surveillance technology, nobody would want to, like in their examination room, to have a surveillance technology. That's the thing. So meaning in some other offices, I guess. Regarding the question of yichud, with a woman therapist seeing a male patient in her office, and use of surveillance technology is halachic solution. See chapter 6. Are we going to get? Okay, no problem. Continue. I think we can stop here because they go into like different cases. Okay, let's stop here. So to be continued. All right, so let's see if we have questions. Okay. Sorry. It's not loading. Okay, so let's see. So we're going back to to the beginning of the questions from yesterday, and it says, so it's like a continuation, follow-up on a question. So what was the question? So the question, if somebody is withdrawn person, right, into himself, so how he or she can contract with other people. Okay, so how can he act like in shidduch? Okay, so next, continuation of this question. Rav, on this, what is due to persons past the person? They find it to get emotionally close to their spouse and fear emotional bond because it has been broken before. One second, was it? So, and the end, I apologize. The end of the question was, let me read the question again. I apologize. Okay. If someone is withdrawn person, mostly staying to him or herself. Okay. So far, so good. How could he/she counteract the social aspect of this when entering in a marriage? So the point is, in parentheses, trust issue. Meaning, okay, so I'm not going to repeat the answer from yesterday, but we're going to incorporate in this answer. So now we got the idea what the situation is. On this, what if, due to the person's past, they find it to get emotionally close to their spouse, and fear the emotional bonding because it has been broken before? If couple find themselves with a member like this, how can each party cope? I'm not sure what is the issue. So basically, a person is a withdrawn person. Now they get married, and now they get like after. So meaning it's not it's not the nature of that person to be withdrawn. So the way I understand, some circumstances made him withdrawn. So otherwise, like they would enjoy like not being bothered, not being annoyed by other people, right? But that's not the case, the way I understand, if I understand correctly. So now they get married and they get attached emotionally, they should attach emotionally to the spouse, which is so far so good. Right, and now they have a fear emotional bonding because has been broken. I mean, like a person fell from the bike before, so now he's not going to ride in a car, or he fell when he was 7 years old. He fell, he broke his nose. Now he's not going to walk in the streets. I mean, some things happen in our past, but we have to try to look forward, not to concentrate on the past. Many things we cannot fix from the past, but we can learn from mistakes and not to do it again. So especially in this case, since it is a spouse, I don't see any problem why to get emotionally attached to that person. But to have a fear of separation it's not normal. It's not healthy. So it's proper when people get married. So they get married for forever, basically. So the separation or the death is going to separate, I think. So, I mean, but if something else was meant, so please let me know if you did not answer. So next question. Parashah Lech Lecha. What is the purpose of adding additional of battling of the kings of the nations and defeating Sodom and Gomorrah? What's the purpose of addition of the battle? Why the story of the battle was inserted there? I mean, Hashem decided His great wisdom to insert. So as we understand, story is not a history book, as our sages always teach us, and all of the stories, and especially this story that was told us in many details, and Torah is very to try to very stingy with words. So now with all the details, so what does it mean? And there are many stories we can learn from this battle, right? I mean, not from the battle itself, but even from the battle itself, how much Hashem loves his righteous people. And he said these people were very strong, right? These 4 kings against 5. And if you see the psukim and how Rashi explains them, so they actually were on the way to get to this 5 kings. They were conquering other nations, one by one, on a go, in by the way fashion, right? And they defeated giants, I think, also a huge army, very powerful. And then comes Avraham, and he said that he takes his kid, his assistants from a base medrash, and then he does all the miracles. Hashem does a miracle. They throw the sand, and sand becomes the arrows, and they penetrate everybody. So I mean, one of the lessons that we can learn from here, how Hashem protects His children, right? His children, so His tzaddikim. Another story is we learn how to be grateful, and how to be not to be ungrateful. And what does it mean? From this story, we know that Avraham saved Lot, right? Without Avraham getting involved, there would be no Lot, right? And later on, his descendants of Lot were very ungrateful to Jewish people, to the descendants of Avraham. They should be very grateful when we left the Egypt, and at least give us bread and water, even though we did not need their bread and water. But sometimes you have to ask a person, are you hungry? Can I do something? Can I bring you a cup of water? Somebody brought you some delivery, I don't know, whatever is it. And it's very hot day, so offer them a cup of water. Even they say no, I have this tap water, I have this mineral water, $7 a bottle or something. But still, you can be polite. You can be show your manners and offer the water or something. So these people did not want even to sell us things. You understand? They say they were nasty people, and that's why Hashem said that these Ammonites and Moabites are not going to come into my nations forever and ever. In men, women is different story, but men for sure not. So, but in order to tell us this. To tell us this lesson, to teach us this lesson about being grateful, which is a character trait of Avraham, of Jewish seed, right, that came from Avraham. So you have to tell us the whole story about the battles and how the forces were uneven, right, not even close. These amazing kings, right, powerful army, and Avraham. And some say it was 360. It's actually they say it's Eliezer alone. Other they say it was 316, I think. Right. And so he has his disciples, his people in his house, but were they warriors? They were shepherds. Of course, maybe he's physically fit person, physically strong. Yeah, but for fight with sheep and I don't know, with a stubborn sheep, but not with a trained army, not with a professional army. Right. So I think of course there are many others lessons that we can read, but at least we mentioned few ideas. Okay, so continue. Could it be that Ishmael became wicked, and Yitzchak was holy because Yitzchak was conceived in perfection by perfecting the covenant with Hashem through circumcision, and Ishmael was not? Okay, so again, could it be that Ishmael was wicked wicked, and Yitzchak was holy, because Yitzchak was conceived in perfection. For sure, Yitzchak was conceived in perfection, and he was conceived with the blessing of HaShem, like a clear blessing that he's going to. So his mother is going to have a son. So it's my take. I never seen this explanation, but it occurred to me. So if Hashem already promised a son, he cannot say that just some garbage. You understand? So if Hashem is going to promise, he promised and he delivers, so he would send the best soul possible. You understand? So of course, a person has a freedom of choice, but still, that was amazing soul, because of the parents and because of his destiny. But this Ishmael, so we have to remember, yes, the Avraham was holy, but the mother of the Ishmael was not so holy. And we know, as soon as they separated from Avraham, she went back to idolatry. Right? So as soon as possible. Then later on, that she did Teshuvah, but meaning that's the problem, right? Right, because she was she did not have this strong character. So, right, so Ishmael was like that, and plus Ishmael had his freedom of choice. He was very, very jealous of Yitzchak. That's also not a good trait, to say the least. Okay, so let's see. To continue. So next question. If the way to pronounce the tetragrammaton, which is the name of HaShem, that represent the utmost mercy in Hebrew, literally means my Lord, Adoi, okay, which would imply that we are his slaves, okay. Could one infer that a person cannot expect HaShem utmost mercy unless he submits completely to his will as a slave would to his Lord, to the Lord's will, contrary to what the heretics preach, that Hashem will love them no matter what. Okay, so let's try to answer this question. So again, if the way to pronounce the tetragrammaton, which is the name of Hashem, represent the utmost mercy, okay. Hebrew literally means, in Hebrew, literally means my Lord Adoi, okay, which would imply that we are his slaves. I mean, even I'm not sure it implies that we his slaves. So a person must make himself a slave just because he said or somebody said that he's a boss. Does not mean that everybody is going to listen to the boss. Right, especially he's right. Okay, so let's see. Could infer that a person cannot expect the Hashem utmost mercy unless he submits completely to his will and slave and the Lord. Okay, so I tell you what Hashem exactly said about this question. He said Moshe Rabbeinu had this question, right? And Hashem said, "It's not up to you to understand. I'm not like a man. I don't think like you, and I would be merciful to whomever I'm going to choose to be merciful, and I'm going to be cruel to the ones that going to decide to be cruel." So many times in life, a person confused, so he or she confused, and they do not know what did they do to deserve this thing, and it seems to be Hashem is not merciful, which is not the case. We just don't see it, right? But they have to submit completely to be his servant to see the mercy. I mean, that's for sure is going to work. But even a person did not submit himself completely, still Hashem show him mercy, or he would show our utmost mercy, a person that in our eyes for sure is not deserving. It's his calculation, so we cannot say it's so simple that we can calculate. Okay, very nice. This, I'm not sure what does it mean, but let's see. Okay, I see the pictures. Okay, so next page, next Next commentary. All roll on the deodorant. Allowed on Shabbos if the product is completely absorbed by the skin. The deodorant, stick deodorant, is a problem because it's smoothed out, right? That's the thing. But this the roll-on deodorant, if I understand correctly, so that there is a bowl, right, and inside is a liquid. So when you roll with the ball, so the liquid comes out. There is no problem with. There's no smoothing. It's like you apply some as we said, the creams are not allowed, but you can use oil, right? And I suggested somebody, and that person said I never thought about it. I say I don't know why you never thought about it, but if you read the Holy Book Tanakh, like it's always absolutely everywhere. People would apply the olive oil, right, to the skin, it's the best, the natural way. And the person had a very dry skin, and especially in the winter, it's cracked. I had it several years. It pains pains a lot, and you put a cream, and the cream does not work. It helps a little, but then it cracks again. So it's a terrible thing, right? So I told the person about this olive oil, and he said it works. Okay, simple solution. So why olive oil is allowed? Because it is what is it? It's a liquid, and the same is this roll-on deodorant. Okay, if it's liquid, there is no problem. So next one, it's a very funny picture. For us, would it be a mitzvah for a Jew that if he sees a fruit or a vegetable that seems to have a shape of the human face, to bite and eat it? Very interesting. Of course, not without being received corresponding blessing. As soon as possible, for most likely, these parts of the human soul tremendously suffering inside the food. And we have this picture of eggplant, and for sure there's a human face for sure in eggplant. Who could have imagined? Okay, so could it be Photoshop? It could be Photoshop. I'm not sure, but let's say if it's not Photoshop, and it's an actual picture, yeah, it would be amazing thing to do, right? To make a blessing on this food. And actually, if you look on Rabbi Rubin's channel, I think he has, I don't remember what the name of the clip, something about reincarnations. When he had this famous figures, Hollywood actors, some other generals, from low Rome emperors, and he compared them to modern picture, to show that a lot of similarity, right? And plus, I think in that video he showed racks, you see the rack is untouched, but you see the face of person, right, and other things in wood, right, for sure. So yes, but in those cases, you cannot help much, right? But with the fruit, right, you for sure, fruit or vegetable, for sure you can help. Okay, so next question. I have a question about tachanun. Since women do not wear tefillin, do they fall on the left arm on tachanun on shachris? Yes. So right, so even men, not even women, even men, we still say tachanun during the mincha. So on shachris we fall on the right hand, but on the mincha we'll fall on the left hand, but not on the palm, not on the hand. So it must be covered. So there is such a holiness in this tachanun, it must be covered. Right, so very interesting. Right, so next question. A correct question about forgiveness. If one forgive a kid, if one wrong a kid, try to seek forgiveness right away, but the kid passed before bar mitzvah and are not able to forgive a person, does a person need to ask forgiveness at the grave of a boy with a minion? Does the minor in heaven have a power to forgive? That's a very good question. So let's explain the question before we try to answer. So we said if somebody, it is based on Halachic, I think we learned it together. So if somebody offends somebody, actually I think in a Woman's Guide to Practical Halachic, I think it's from there. I think. So if somebody offended another person, and the person passes, so you have to ask forgiveness. So you have to get a minion, go to his grave, and ask forgiveness. And actually, in this case, it's I think, if I remember correctly, you can even appoint a shaliach, to somebody. If you're in different country, in different city, whatever, so you can ask somebody to go and ask for forgiveness from this person. So now we're talking, but that person, that neshama can forgive because he is adult, but the kid cannot forgive. I don't think this of course he's not a kid when his neshama lives, and it's neshama is without age, right? It's a very good question. I would say that I'm not sure. It's very, very specific halachic question, and I would say I'm not sure. Right? Because on one hand, if he's a child, so he cannot forgive. On another hand, this child transformed to the body which is sent, and to the soul which is adult, right? And not adult, without ageless. So I'm not sure. Okay, so continue. Rabbi, I wonder if the period of time mother remains impure after giving birth is bound to the number of kids she's had during the same delivery, or just based on delivery itself. So again, the question: I wonder if the period of time the mother remains impure after giving birth is bound by the number of the kids she had during the same delivery, or is based on delivery itself? No, it's based on the delivery itself. So until she stopped bleeding, right? So next question is general question. Chumash, when the Shimon and Levi are together, they seem to be like trouble makers, right? In both incidents of Shem and Yosef Hatzadik. Okay. Hence Yaakov rebuked and prophesied their dispersion among the land. Okay. I wonder if there are specific personalities that should not stick together, lest they become troublemakers and cause the harm to themselves and others. That's a very interesting question. So let's first explain the question. So this Shimon and Levi, they were like brothers from Leah. All right, so one is older, one is younger. So they were troublemakers, meaning they killed trouble. It's a huge trouble to kill the whole city of Shem, and I think they were like not adults. He was, I think, they were in the bar mitzvah, maybe even under bar mitzvah. Since Yaakov, so and Yaakov knew, and it's not healthy for them and for everybody to keep them together. That's why Levites were living in 42 cities, right, spread all over the land of Israel. So one of the, of course, explanation is that they would teach other people, and they would live in these protected cities, right? Ir Miklat, meaning not protected city, the city of refuge where people would run if they do accidental killings. So that's why they had to be spread out in different but in different places. And plus, since they did not have the land of their own, right, in the land of Israel, so other tribes were obligated to give them some parts from their lands. Okay, so that's why that's an explanation of Levi, build and spread out, and Shimon. So Shimon is the aggressive one. So if you know the story, if you read the Medrash, it's actually Shimon. It was the one who wanted to kill Yosef, not the Levi, not anybody else. Of course, it's blamed on everybody else because they're witnesses and they did not get involved. But basically, it was only Shimon. And Shimon was spread actually in the tribe of Yehuda. They have Yehuda was one of the biggest tribes, and they have a very strong warriors. So they have city here and there of the Shimon the Shimon. So they would not get together. So the question is it like some special personality? So and Levi were, as we know, Levi they were and forever and ever very dedicated people to HaShem. So. Right, so always Torah teachers. I mean, always meaning later on, but HaShem said still separate them because of the past history. So other two do when I guess that's my trying to logically to answer this question. If a person sees when my cousin comes over, something happened. When he's not there, I'm a normal person. Nothing is broken. Nobody's get drunk. Nobody fights with anybody. Nobody do stupid things. So meaning when he comes, when the trouble starts. So meaning that you have to stay away from that person. So meaning that in some combination you and him, like a trouble. So we have to separate from these people. Right, and that's the answer. So I mean, we have to always analyze situation. Right, many times to analyze the situation is very simple. Like why did it happen, how it was before, and how is it after. That's it, before and after. Okay, switch Shabbos. Continue. Next question about gluing and taping. Okay, so it was our topic today. For disposing adhesive items, do we need to be concerned that the adhesive part would stick to the garbage bag permanently? No, okay. So I mean, we should not be concerned. So here's a question about this thing as we explained about diapers, right? So it's proper. So if you close the diapers with this adhesive the tabs, for sure it's going to stay like that. But if you just take the diaper, put it in a bag, shopping bag, whatever bag. Right, and you put it in the garbage, for sure inside of this thing, these tabs are going to attach to the diaper itself, to the bag itself, for sure, that's guaranteed. But of course, it is indirectly. It's not our intention, so there is no problem. Okay, so next question. We have some question about the Melachahs. Okay, number one. Are receipts automatically considered muktzeh? If not, can they be used as the bookmarks during Shabbos if the person does not read the receipt? Okay, so that's a very good question. So technically, right? One of the things that a muktzeh is the one that we cannot use, and what we cannot use and what we cannot read on Shabbos is a business document. So what is a business? All your bank statements, all the bills, electric bill, all of these things, or even the receipts. they overcharge me for this and that. Okay, so that's what it means, the bills. Okay. So that's why they consider muktzeh. But if you say that something is, I'm planning to use it, so it's like as a bookmark, so it's not a muktzeh. But it has to be like declared as not muktzeh before Shabbos, or you've been already use it before Shabbos. They put it in your books on Wednesday, so then that's why it's not muktzeh. So it is a bookmark. Yes. And same with other things. So if you have designated on set on Shabbos, like that I'm going to use it for whatever purpose, there's no problem. Number 2, of course, don't read from that links. Okay, so number 2, Yalkut Yosef, Rav Yitzchak Yosef explains that it is not permitted to glue used diapers to avoid bad odor. Okay, what can parent do to prevent the area from smelling unpleasant? As we said, just put in a bag, wrap it, and put it like so it would not get unwrapped and undone, and that's it. It's not good to smell. So right, so you can use when these thin bags free, they give you like when you buy vegetables. So you can use these bags. They are pretty strong, right? And big enough to hold a diaper. Okay, so number 3, during Shabbos can we insert printed pages of Torah reading into the folder with sheet protector. Kindly please see the picture below where the person is acting on this question. I'm not sure what is it below. Can we insert the printed page of Torah reading into the folders with sheet protects? I think I'm not sure. Oh, okay. 1 second. I saw on my phone it was loaded, but like these things not. Sorry about that. Okay, so but I think like some like this clear plastic, the way I understand. Okay, I don't see any issue. Okay. So maybe later on it's going to load up. It's not there. Sorry. It's okay. Okay. So next question. Is it possible to put an adhesive tape together on a diaper before Shabbos? Before Shabbos, there is no problem whatsoever. In this case, would it be best to just use a pull up a diaper? I mean, it's not. I mean, pull up. I mean, there's no problem with pull up whatsoever. But I think they cost more money. If people do not want to spend extra money and use these regular ones, there is no problem, right? So the only issue do not glue these tabs after the use. That's it. So just roll it, leave it as it is, put it in the bag, and close the bag. Inside of the bag, guarantee they're going to get attached, but it's not your, it's not your intention. It was done, with a shinoi, basically. So, but doing before that and you use it as a pull-ups, maybe it's going to get stuck. I mean, we don't need to go crazy in this department. Is a tape on a diaper before Shabbat? There is problem with removing it. If there is, there is no problem to remove it because that was in intention. Even a person attached this tape, so it was attached with the intention to undo it and then close back. Right, there is no problem. Okay. So I give you this example. So you think that the diaper is full, and he comes over to her, and you open the diaper. See, it can still hold 2 hours, so you close back and let him go, right? That's it. So there's no problem because you're going to change later. Okay, so next question. Should one be careful not to soak the soft pad from Band-Aid lest one squeeze it unintentionally, especially when one has to cover small cuts over the inner side of the hand. To the again, should one be careful not to soak the soft pad from the bend? I mean, unless you squeeze it like this. If you just touch this soft part, I don't think it's going to get squeezed. I don't think so. Then squeeze it unintentionally, of course, especially when one has a cover up the cut over the inner side of the hand, inner side. I don't think it's a problem. I don't think it's a problem. I mean, it's very unlikely that it's going to absorb so much water that it's going to be like a very soaking wet. I mean, even if you wash your hands for bread, I mean, the water is not going to get absorbed; it runs off. Of course, it's a little wet, but not that wet, so you can squeeze it. Actually, I don't think so. Okay, so next question. Question about shliach. So shliach is a messenger. So like officially, there is the whole section in the Rambam that he discusses the shliach, because it's so many things that we can assign somebody to be our shliach. All the laws, what they're responsible, what they're not responsible. Can they use our money? For example, give example. So we send this guy to buy for us fish on the market, and guess what? All of the guy with the fish did not come today. So you ask, oh no, he's going to come tomorrow. So he's going to come tomorrow, but you say, oh, there are melons there. So let me buy melons. Oh, I don't have my money, but I have boss's money. Can he use this boss money and send him to buy fish, right? If he he's going to give him money tomorrow. Tomorrow anyway he does not need money, like stuff like that. So that's very interesting questions. Okay, second. So first question about shliach. In the case of currency exchange, if shliach is able to get a better rate than agreed rate, is he allowed to keep the extra money for himself? That's a famous question. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So he has to say. On some cases, but there is a second opinion. And what is the second opinion? The different case. So they gave discounts especially to me. So to all other people, they sell $8 per unit, right? But the guy knows me, so they like me very much. So they send to me like $6.50, right? So can I keep the difference? No, it's not. It's because again, I mean, if my boss, if the person who sent me, what price would he get? $6.50 or $8? No, he's going to get $8. But I got $6.50. No, it was not my money. I was was the extension of his hand. So, and I cannot trade with his things, basically. Right, so that's very straightforward. In the case of currency exchange, so is allowed to keep the extra money, right? So I mean, if you the bottom line question, if the guy would agree, right? So meaning if he wants to give you a discount, like say, oh, you see, I got it for you, so but because of my connection, they gave me like this is this price. So it would be proper to give him some bonus, this person. So like because we saved I don't know how much, but give him a 10%, 15, 20% as a bonus, but that's it. So next question: is it a mitzvah for shaliach to strive to get the best deal for the sender? There is no such a mitzvah. I mean, he give you the price. I mean, to go and argue and to bargain and like to spend the extra time. There is no such thing. If he wants, he can. But okay, so yeah, it's now it's loaded. Wow, now it's loaded. Yeah, there is no problem to use these things. Interesting. I was thinking about these things today. Very interesting. Just today before the class. Interesting. So I typed up to one of the people from my shul the Kaddish, how to pronounce Kaddish like with correct pronunciation, like transliteration. But so I've been thinking to print out, but I don't have the sleeves. Maybe to buy them. Okay, so let's see. So next one, in a case of one cannot prove the money is his to the Beis Din, and the other party has the money, how would the divine court judge the situation? So, in the case of one cannot prove money is his and Beis Din, and the other party has the money, how the divine court judge the situation? I'm not sure what the situation is. I mean, it's a very general question. So, but quickly, let's say what is the situation. So, if it's you found money, right, and somebody came, thank you very much. So you saw this wallet. It's actually my wallet. And you say, okay, and how are we going to prove that it's valid? Do we have ID there? Yeah, I have ID. So you check, there is no ID. Oh, probably somebody must have taken. Okay, credit cards? There is no credit cards. There is cash. How much cash? You know what? I don't remember. I done this. So I mean, right. So how can he prove? So are you obligated to give him back the wallet? No. If you cannot prove that, say no. You know what? On the left corner, on the top, there is like a stitching is missing, and there you have a spot like a stain from what is it, from cherry juice. I don't know, something. So he's, you see, yeah, it's a big stain, and the string is missing. Like so maybe it's his. So that's the thing. Right, but if he cannot prove, so you're not allowed to give it to him, and same with the Beis Din. If based on information presented, based on the proof presented, they cannot conclusively decide that money belongs to that guy. So that's the case is dismissed because they cannot do anything, right? But in Shemaim, if he's guilty, he's guilty, and some things, I will say, but in Shemaim he's going to get judged, even there is no proof, because HaShem is the ultimate judge. So you cannot create make some kind of case of injustice, and HaShem is going to let it pass. He's not going to let it pass. Right. So okay. So I think there is continuation. Okay, so I was thinking about the story today, the unconcluded Gemara situation, that either one would acquire, and the other party would need to provoke. Okay. So we said in Gemara. So when it's not resolved, so basically, like if somebody would forcefully take it from other person, so Beis Din cannot take it back because there is no proofs. Like it's not no proof. There is a proof that he took it back forcefully, but based on the law. So it's not enough evidence to make that other person like give it back voluntarily. So that's the issue, right? So so now the question is, so Beis cannot help, but how is it going to be divine court? So divine court is going to scrutinize both of them and see who is deserving what and who is a criminal. So in many of these cases, it's proper just to let it go, do not insist. And HaShem was, as he promised to send a full parashah, whatever is needed on Rosh Hashanah, that they're going to send. He's going to send. So don't push your luck. Maybe that person is right. Maybe. Okay. Right. Yeah, that's correct, Leib. Thank you very much. So next question. How is it problematic to feel somewhat excited that they are saying Trump won the election? If I remember correctly, Rabbi said that it is a waste of time to vote. Maybe it is similar to waste of brain power to care at all about these things. Okay, that's correct mindset. So again, from the beginning, we're going to add up a little. Is it problematic to feel somewhat excited? They're saying Trump won the election. So I mean, when we get excited, who won the election, that's it becomes problematic because you said HaShem this thing, this guy is going to this guy or a girl or somebody, so he's going to make the difference. HaShem makes the difference. So and if HaShem would not allow him, right, so he would be unproductive. And maybe he's a sincere person. He's going to, Hashem might create obstacles for him. He would not be able to deliver, or opposite, he would try to do his best in his mind. And for us, it's not going to be good. Like all of this, case last year. I mean, not last time he was a president. So I read up a little of what they want, highlights. This his son Kushner, this guy. Right, they want to swap the lands with Israel and do all these things to make Palestinians happy. That was too much to give up our land. It's too much. It's never allowed to give our lands, right? I mean, for sake of peace, but it was and he was meant to do good, but it was in his mind is good. You understand? So and plus we know that. The hearts of the kings are controlled by HaShem. As soon, before he was a king, before he was a president, he was a lover of Jews, he was a lover of truth, he was a lover of this, lover of that. And then guess what? Somebody's going to get him upset, and he's going to, oh, you're like that? Right, I'm going to show you who I am. I'm Mr. Trump. So, I mean, so we try to stay away from this nonsense. And remember that HaShem is running the world. See, he would want to deliver his message through the Trump. He's going to throw Trump through this other guy, maybe through the other guy. Right. Of course, we have to respect the president, but to spend time on it, not so much. And I remember myself. So I listened to his speech. And I thought to myself, okay, let me see, a long time ago, let me hear the guy speaking. 5 minutes, okay, 5 minutes. Can I afford 5 minutes? Okay, I was tired, whatever. So, and guess what? I end up listening to 35 minutes of his speech. He's an amazing speaker. He's very motivational speaker. He's a very charismatic person. So you start listening to him, and then you never finish. So that's the trap from Satan. Right, okay. Right, did he say something like change my life? Would it help me in the court of heaven? Hopefully they're going to forgive me in the court of heaven because I did teshuvah for that. Okay, so let me quickly reset 1 second. Okay, so next question. Correct question about Shabbos. If one is allowed to spray fragrance into the air above the bed maybe more than 2 feet above, where the fragrance will land on the bed on Shabbos. That's the problem. That's the problem. So again, the question, if you allow to spray this air freshener. So air freshener is not a problem. So if you spread spray it in the air, there is no problem. The problem is for us is a problem is to use like same issue with like spraying above the bed and spray the perfume or cologne like what is it, on the garments. So these things actually they improve the garments. So especially in older times. Today, like nobody think about it, but it's actually a original halacha is not to spray it on the garment. So if somebody wants to use some perfume, so she would need to use it on her body, not on the garment. So you have to be careful. I mean, it's not a big deal, but to spray it on the body, yeah, but not on the garments. And same is here, because it's like you improve the garment. We have to remember that in olden days they were not able to wash them very often as we do today. And I think the second part was delicing. I think there's a word. So lice, meaning to get rid of the lice through so when you over all the fragrance, like over the fire with the smoke. So it's also was like improvement of the garment. Right, so that's why it would be forbidden over the bed, but next to the bed. So if it's air freshener, no problem. Right. Okay, so next question, Rav, will the Yetzer Hara of a Jew, especially regarding issues of immorality, flourish more easily if he does not get circumcised? Right. Okay, that's a good question. If so, will he have to conquer bigger Yetzer Hara if he gets circumcised later in his life? Right. Okay. So let's. So this is actually this question is based on one of the opinions of our sages. So why to do circumcision? Of course, the main answer is because HaShem said so. But one, I don't remember. I think it was Rambam. That's all. I think it was him. He would always give the logical explanation. So he said to lower the last of a Jew, right? To get circumcised. Okay. So again, will Yetzer Hara of a Jew, especially regarding issue of morality, flourish more easily if he does not get circumcised? So I think so. Based on Rambam, I think it was Rambam. So yes, I mean, looks like it. If so, will he have to conquer even bigger Yetzer Hara, but he gets circumcised later in life? I don't think so. I mean, for example, somebody was not observant, and they were not observant, or they came from a place where, from communist country when everything was forbidden, because the person just when understand in Russia all these communist countries, right? If you get circumcision, you do circumcision. It's like you do illegal surgery. Like a person tried to do surgery on internal organs with something. You can go in prison. I don't know what was the sentence, maybe 10 years, 15 years, like in prison for this circumcision. It was very dangerous, and people get arrested. And these communists, they were very serious about it. In some regions, like for example in Asian countries, because there were Uzbekistan and local Kazakhstan, so they were not so insistent, because there were many Muslims there, and Muslims would do anyway. So they were not as strict. They, of course, you don't want to annoy the populations. right? But so there was a little easier, but in other more European ones, were very strict, right? So that's why many people, when they came to Israel, right, when they came to America, when they came to different Australia or something, so they did not have circumcision, right? Because many of them were assimilated, and some of them were scared, like it's a criminal. No, nobody would wanted to do it. I think I said, I'm not sure if I said my story. They did it in different cities, so they suspected my grandmother because she was working in what is it like? What is the word? The word escapes me. So basically, she would help with the deliveries of the baby, right? So she was she was in the hospital, main hospital in the city. So everybody knew her. She was very popular, and and she would organize this circumcision for other people, right? But since other people were not suspect, but she was a suspect for sure. So they told you, if we find out, you're going to we're going to fire you. So they suspect that even she would do it. She would not do it, but they suspect that. So they took me to the different city. My mother took me, father, stay home, because if two parents would go, it would be to suspicion. Right, so that's what the whole cover-up operations, and the person came from a different cities. You understand? So they met in my house of my other relatives in different. Now it's a different country basically, and they did the circumcision. It same was with other boys in our family. Right? They would take them to visit the relatives, and they arranged this. Usually it's all elderly men that ready to die, to do the mitzvah. So they're old core Jews. Baruch Hashem, standing strong, and they would travel. Of course, you have to pay them traveling expenses, but they otherwise, of course, you give them some tzedakah or something. But if you understand what these people were risking their life, if this person elderly, I'm not sure if they told me maybe he was 60 something. In that time, it was very old. 60 was almost to die. Right, and if he is going to get 10 years of prison, 15 years of prison, he's not going to survive even 3 months, 5 months. They call him to Siberia or something. That's it. He's dead basically. Right. So meaning for these people, it was Mesiras Nefesh for sure, Mesiras Nefesh for sure. So and for my parents, right, and it's very interesting. All right, but many other people did not have circumcision. They did not have this strong family that would do circumcision no matter what. Right, and there was one circumcision, my cousin, and I think there were two brothers, the youngest, the younger one, and they could not stop bleeding, and everybody even one of my uncle was a doctor, so he could not stop bleeding. Like a baby can bleed to death. I had to give him take him to a hospital or something. You bring the baby to a hospital with a wound, guess what? The doctor is going to call police right away. You get arrested. Right, but somehow they prayed, and I think they got a minyan together, if I remember correctly the story. And they prayed. He said, we're not going to go to hospital. Everybody is dead if you do that. Right? So we have to pray. And they prayed with the minyan. They got it. And the bleeding stopped, basically. The baby survived. That's very interesting. It's one of my cousins. Right? So the story of circumcision. Okay, so next question. We have a question about sneers. Can a person wear? So why I say that? So many people have, right, from all of the communist countries, they have a circumcision later on in life. Did it make them have added the Yitzhak? I don't know. Right, but usually this people is very proud, and we had a guy guest, and he was a single guy. He would come and he was very annoying. He would call and. Can I come? I said, no, we have other people. Who do you have? What is the concern of yours? whoever, but not you. The guy would not shut up, like I always speak, and he would like, and he had the circumcision. I'm not sure, like how old was he? In his 30s, maybe, right? Or right, and he would tell, like every time would he come in our house, he would tell him about his experience of the circumcision. Like my wife is in it, like just stop it. Like the guy would not get in point. And plus, sometimes we had other guests, and he would start speaking about circumcision. Right, so people are very, very proud of themselves when they do it, like later on in life, which is good, I think. So next one, question about sneers. Can a person wear a lace fabric that does not show the skin underneath? Lace fabric. I'm not sure what is the garment lace fabric. So okay. So you need to explain to me what is it. Okay. So I don't know. That's why I don't want to answer. Okay. What article of clothing? Next question. If there is a way to physically force a man to give up a get to his wife, if there is a way, why isn't it something similar applies when someone takes something by force and does not want to return it? Oh, that's a very good question. So if it's a halacha is if somebody does not want to do a mitzvah, we force him a little to do mitzvah. So how do we force a person? You give him lashes, and they call it lashes for rebellious conduct. Right? So Beis Din is in power even today. Right? Of course, they're not going to do it because they're going to get in trouble with the host country, basically. Right? But if they would allow to, and in some places we have anatomy, right? From the country, so they would say you Beis Din, you Jews take care of yourself. So in this case, yeah, you were able to give them lashes, right? For sure, give them lashes. In Europe, in old Europe, right? So this when most of the people were not allowed to live in the cities, but outside the city, in the villages and shtetls, we call them, there were people they were Beis Din, they were allowed to give lashes. Non-Jews would lash each other like the day and night. So yeah, so it was normal. So right, they would if somebody does not want to give a get, or somebody does not want to do a mitzvah. So in order, so other people would be scared. So it was allowed to give him lashes. But here in a case to force somebody to return, if Beis Din decided based on halacha that he must return, yeah, to enforce the case of the rule of Beis Din, yeah, he would might get lashes. There is no problem. But in all the cases that we discussed, why Rambam said, for example, that if other person would take it something by force, you cannot remove it from him, because halacha was not decided. So sometimes the Gemara would end up with teiku. What is teiku? When Mashiach comes, we will find out. We don't have enough evidence to this side. I mean, this side is very convincing, and this is very convincing, so we cannot decide. So they just leave it as it is. It's like many cases. I don't remember how many cases, but pretty many cases. But yeah. So in this case, so we're not giving lashes because there is no clear law. But if it was clear law and say I don't want to give him anyway, so that's a different story. Okay, so next question. Could I have a question about Beis Din? Okay. Could I have explain what does the heavenly court follows the ruling of the earthly court? That's an amazing question. So meaning what? That whatever the earthly court decides, we must accept. It's not like and sometimes a person might say maybe they will tempted to say. It's actually from Sefer Chofetz Chaim, right? So it's like one of the most popular cases. He said, look, this guy So he's a thief, he's a crook, and you know what? Who is the crooks? This Bayesian, they're all unlearned people, they're ignoramuses. They take bribes, this, that. Why? Because they rule against him. Right, Chofetz Chaim explains, when people go to the Bezdin, if they go to the Bezdin, so for sure they think that they can win the case, right? I mean, most likely, in most of the cases, they go, both parties should go to the Bezdin because both of them sure that they're right. You understand? So one side is going to lose. And they're going to go against the Bezdin, and it was not fair, and this and that. And then it says that our sages say in Halachic is that you must accept the Bezdin, whatever rule. Okay, if you do not accept, if you don't want, so you can go to the higher Bezdin and show them right up their conclusion and see what they say. But if you're not going to go, so you must accept their decision. Right, whatever they decided, and in heaven, they're going to accept this decision as well. So meaning it's not going to if Bezdin decided that this person is guilty and and he has to pay money, even though the guy's mind he's innocent. So our sages teach us. Don't remember where did I get it, but. Maybe it's also from Sefer Chofetz Chaim in one of his explanations. So he said there that that it's maybe that this person owes money for something else. So this case, in this specific case, he's not guilty, but he was deserving to lose money like for some other things. So if the Bezdin decided like that, and HaShem allowed them to decide like that. So meaning that we must accept it and that's it, just keep quiet, right? But in some cases there is no clear cut who is supposed to, both of them are innocent. Both of them are innocent, and I think we had a clip about it, right? It's actually one of the story from Avraham. I'm going to remind you the story. So it says that it was a dormitory in Yeshiva, and one guy had his heater, like electric heater, like usually in Yerushalayim it's very cold in the winter, but many of the especially old buildings, they don't have heating systems. I mean, heat system costs a lot of money. Because rich people would have, but some people would not have. Right? So, but they have electric heater. This guy had electric heater, and it was on a timer, right? So meaning that he comes, let's say, from his classes at 5 p.m. So he would set it at 4:30 or 4 p.m. So it would warm up the room. Okay. And one day, a cleaning guy came. This cleaning guy, he needs to clean the floors. He needs to wash the floors. He does not care. Whatever you have extra shoes, he put it on your bed. You have these things, whatever, it's a heater, he puts it on the bed because it's not working, right? But it was plugged in. And now, what happened? That came 4 p.m., right? And this heater went on, and it burned down the room, right? And they say, who's supposed to pay? Can we say that this guy is the boy from Yeshiva did something wrong? No, he did not do something wrong. But he had the right to have a heater, and he had the right to plug in through the timer. This guy did something wrong, the cleaning guy. He did not do anything wrong, right? So I mean, he was doing his job for many years, and he would put everything on top of the bed. And how does he know? Like when he came, the heater was off. How does he know that it has a timer? Like he does not have time. He has to have so much to do, right? So they say, and the owner of the building, he said, okay, I understand you tzaddik, you shmadik, so nobody but who is going to pay me? Like in the end, you see, I'm at loss. Like I have to restore the whole room. So Zilbeshin Shlita, so he said that the one who brought the fire, the one who is going to pay you, so don't worry. But in all other cases, when there is no proof, clear proof, So like moral obligation, that's how the moral obligation is one person to compensate. Of course, it was done unintentionally. It was done like in error. It was done not a straightforward way like this and that. Okay, of course, but other person suffered. So can Beis Din punish this person, perpetrator? No. Is he guilty in this court? No. In the heavenly court, 100%. That's why, since there was no decision in earthly court, it must be decision in heavenly court. So that's what it means. So and sometimes, like on one account, person would be guilty in the earthly court, but other, since there is no enough evidence and halacha cannot punish this person. So, but he's still guilty. So don't. Some people think like this. They did not have enough evidence. They did not have to witness. Okay, they didn't have to witnesses, but HaShem was a witness. Like how about that? Okay. So continuation on a question about Trump, right? So is it problem? So basically, what's the problem? A problem, not problem. Question: is it okay to get excited that Trump won? Okay. Is it when even problematic to fear that Trump will start the war against the Ishmaelim, which will eventually turn into Gog and Magog? Okay. If this fear gets a person to do Moteshua even quicker, would it be then a useful fear? So that's so we're trying to understand if we can learn some things from Trump. Okay, so again, even if it's a problematic fear that he's going to start the war, so even it's good like Teshua cannot be like on the basis of the fear of the something happen or in this physical life or not going to happen. Why? Because maybe Trump is going to get the best body from with all of the Ishmaelim states and no war, like no in the near future. So what? So now the person is going to stop the show. So we cannot connect the show to anybody, to any specific person, any specific event. It's going to rain, not going to rain. It's going to be Trump or going to be Schmump. So we do the show because we want to get close to HaShem. That's ultimate level. Like ultimate level, I want to be close to HaShem. How to be close to HaShem? To cleanse myself. HaShem said, I don't like arrogant people. And you know what? I have arrogance. I have to work on myself. Right? Do I need to be scared of somebody to work on myself? Maybe I'm not going to get scared. Maybe this person is going to befriend me. So now what? There is no my boss, right? So I don't afraid my boss. So now that's it. And the show stopped. To show like the motivation has to come from within because you want to get close to Hashem. That's the best source. Okay, so next question. What Shabbos? Are we allowed to use steaming eye mask on Shabbos? Steaming. Whose heat automatically when take out of the package and would stay around 104 degrees, less than Yad Saledis bow, for 20 minutes, and leave the tired eyes. I would say no. The problem is when we say steaming, meaning that some liquid is getting heat up. So and on Shabbos we're not allowed to warm up any liquids. I mean according to Ashkenazi custom, right? But on another hand, you're not allowed to warm up to begin with. But above, if there is a possibility that it's going to warm up above Yad Saledisbo, right? Because it says clearly you can make yourself coffee, hot coffee, right? Hot water, like you mix coffee with sugar, and then you add creamer. So this creamer, like from your refrigerator, or you add milk. So, but since the mixture is going to be below Yad Saledisbo, there is no problem. But why would, so I understand it below Yatzel is bow, but the question is, how is it steaming? I'm not sure. We need to see how is exactly what. I would say, like, stay away. If it's possible to stay away from this technology, it's better to stay away. Just for 20 minutes. Relieve tired eyes. I mean, I think that today they have, even I have not used it, but I got it, like these special napkins. They also like wet napkins. Have to be very careful not to squeeze them, right? But that's what people use. So I mean, I think it's could be problematic. Okay, so next question. Whether off, thank you much. There is no liquid in a mask, and the steam is the name refers to more than is the name refers more to the heat. But where is this heat coming from? I'm not sure. I mean, we have to think about it. It could be other issues involved. Is it heat? Okay, I'm not sure. Thank you for the story. Okay, so next question. A question about lashes. Okay, I wonder if lashes applied to women. Give them seems to be modest issue. If not, what would be the substitute? No. The lashes apply to everybody for rebellious conduct. It's a man or a woman. Of course, they would be dressed completely. I don't remember they would while laying down or standing. This I don't remember. They would it like from two sides, from the back and from the front. What they do from the front to the women, I don't remember exactly. So, but even though I learned this, but don't remember. Okay. Right. Yeah, but women for sure they would get like lashes for sure. So next question. Thank you very much. Sorry about this confusion. This is the lace fabric, and its size. And its size can be used for the details, such as short cuffs. Okay, I see. And the edges of the pockets. Okay, edges of the pocket. So, but this is for decoration. Is it permitted? Could it also be used for? If it is permitted, can it be used for the entire piece of clothing? If the fabric does not show the skin underneath. I mean, the way I look at the fabric, it would show the skin underneath. So it would show everything underneath. I'm not sure how is it possible. I mean, sometimes the dresses, there's like dress, like a solid dress, and on top you have this lace fabric. So that would be no problem. But the thing just made from this lace fabric, the way I see it, like it's see-through. I'm not sure. Okay. I'm not sure what would be the example that you cannot see underneath. I mean, like details, like on for decoration purposes, of course, there is no problem because it's another piece of fabric. No, okay, so that's what I said. If something underneath, there is no problem. Right. So I think that they make wedding dresses like this from this thing. Right. So they like regular dress, like underneath, on the top they have these things. Okay, so next question. Would using these steaming eye masks for a thyroid on Shabbos also count as improving the skin? Is a problem to improve the skin? I don't think we have a problem to improve the skin. We have a problem to improve some things, like some inanimate objects, right? So maybe it's going to be maki bepatish, right? I think we spoke about it. It's like last strike of a hammer. That would be like the issue. For example, it was not fixed, and now you did whatever you did, and you fixed it. So, but it's not true with the skin. Of course, I mean, it gets a little better. Guess what? 3 hours, 5 hours, like later, it's going to be exactly the same. So it's not a permanent fix. Additionally, would it be prohibited for a man to use them in a case he has noticeable eye bags out of this not sleeping and would not would like to look more presentable on shidduch or a job interview? I mean, there is no problem. So if it's the question, if these masks can go in the way of women, I don't think so. I mean, this mask anybody can wear. I mean, not wear, but use. It's not only for women. It's as it says, it's for tired eyes. Okay. I thought that one of these reasons would be we don't moisturize the skin on Shabbos because improving it wash forbidden. No, it's not forbidden to wash the skin. You can wash the skin, right? Or you can use a soap, and some soap they come with like minerals, and some of them honey and shmani, all of these other things. So for sure they improve the skin. These soaps, right? Like hand soap. So but we're allowed to use them. Right, and we're allowed to use even those, as we said, like liquid oils. Right, they say even liquid creams. I mean, there are some liquid creams. Okay. Are we allowed to put fragrance on hair on Shabbos? Yeah, on hair there is no problem. So the problem only with improving garments. So it's like, as I said, I think it's for delicing. It was a long time ago, but that's how I remember. Right, so it was like it was not complete, meaning the garment with the lice. But now, when it delices with over the like smoke or something, or over the steam, so now it's perfect, and right, now you can wear it. So that was the problem. Of course, they put some what is it, fragrances, so it would smell better. Okay, no problem. All right, so I think we answered all of the questions. So thank you very much for learning with us. So please join us tomorrow. We're going to continue this kosher kitchen. Thank you and good night.